Namaskar. Today I will tell you about the second part of the groundwater exploration. In first part of groundwater exploration, I have told you about the hydrogeologic method, that is photogeologic and remote sensing from space. From surface, I have told you about the geologic method and geophysical method. In geophysical method, I have told you about the electrical resistivity method, and in electrical resistivity method about the vertical electrical sounding and horizontal profiling. In this second part of groundwater exploration lecture, I will highlight the points, that is the geophysical method from surface, that is the seismic refraction method, gravity method, magnetic method and dowsing or water beaching method. From subsurface method, I will tell you about the trace drilling, geologic log, time drilling log, water level measurement. Next is the geophysical logging. In geophysical logging, three methods are there. One is resistivity logging, second spontaneous potential logging, and third is the radiation logging. Radiation logging is also three types. Number one is natural gamma logging, gamma logging and neutral logging. Then temperature logging, caliper logging, fluid conductivity logging, fluid velocity logging, and there are miscellaneous methods. So, first we will start from the seismic refraction method. Seismic refraction method is also a method which is used in the groundwater exploration after the electrical resistivity method. The principle of this method is that in this method a shock is produced on the ground surface with the help of the impact of heavy instruments. Due to this impacts, seismic shocks are produced and they will travel within the rocks and they will come on the ground surface. In this seismic refraction method, another method is seismic reflection method. Seismic reflection methods is get the information below the 1000 meters of the ground surface and it decipher the ground geologic structures. But this seismic refraction methods is get the information about 100 meter below the ground surface. So, the principle of this method, these velocities, waves are travelled through the rocks at the different velocities. So, different type of rocks, different velocities are there, and in solid rock the velocity is greatest, but in unconsolidated rock the velocity of these waves are least. Now, porosity and water content. Porosity decrease the velocity, but water content can increase it. So, if there is a contrast change in the velocity, it indicates there is change in the lithological formation. This change in velocity takes place due to the change in the elasticity of the rock. So, elasticity is a factor which governs the velocity of the rock. So, suppose in consolidated formation, that is the sandstone, there is a formula given by a scientist, that is formula 1 upon V equal to alpha upon VL plus 1 minus alpha upon Vs, where V is the velocity, VL is the liquid saturating the rock, velocity in this rock, and Vs is the solid rock, alpha is the porosity. So, here if you see a diagram is given there, two diagram A and B is there. In A, wave front advance, and second diagram time distance curve is there. So, you see in this, in the there are two zones, unsaturated zone and saturated zone. A wave travel in unsaturated zone has the less time to reach the ground surface, and these waves are recorded by the seismometers. They are also known as geophones or detector or pickups. So, in diagram 5 millisecond time is required for a wave to travel in a unsaturated zone only, but when it passes from the saturated zone, so it requires more time, because it travel in the interface zone, it requires more time. So, this distance and time, if we will plot on the ordinary graph paper, distance on the x axis, time in millisecond on the y axis, you see in the diagram there is a v1 velocity and v2 velocity. There v1 velocity is above the ground, above the water table, v2 is the below the water table. So, v1 velocity and v2 velocity, they are intersecting at a point. So, this intersection point determines the value of s, means this is the distance. So, capital H letter is there in this diagram. You see this is the depth of the water table below the ground surface. So, there is a formula H equal to S upon 2 under root V2 minus V1 upon V2 plus V1. So, this formula will give you the depth of H, means depth of the water table. So, by this method we can determine the what is the depth of the water table. So, in the field procedure, how it is done, we dig a hand auger hole is there, is drilled up to 1 meter, and a small explosive is used to produce the shocks. Then seismometers are placed at the interval about 3 to 15 meter, and these waves are, velocity of waves are recorded by these seismometers. Then they are plotted, which I have told you, and we can determine the H. Now, this method is used by the experienced person, otherwise some erroneous results can took place. Now, we come to the gravity method. This method is not much used in the groundwater exploration, because it measures the difference in density. So, it is expensive method also. So, it will give you the idea about the structure, geologic structures. So, it is not much used in the groundwater exploration. Similarly, magnetic method, it is also not much used in groundwater, because it is magnetism is not related to the occurrence of the groundwater, but indirectly, for example, dike is there. With the help of this method, dike is located. So, this is about the magnetic method. From surface, another method is the dowsing method, or it is also known as water witching method. A scientist Ellis in year 1917, he has given this method. So, a forked stick is used to locate the water is known as dowsing or water witching. In this method, this forked stick is held in both the hand, and we will walk over the land surface. Wherever the butt end is attracted, there is a presence of the groundwater. So, this is the dowsing simple method, water witching method. This method is not a scientific method, because there is no scientific justification for this method, but people are using this method, and this is successful also. This forked stick is made up of wood, copper wire, and nowadays people are using coconut also. They are also using rope to locate the groundwater. So, this is about the dowsing method or water wetting method. Now, we will come to other method which is done from the subsurface. So, in subsurface method, subsurface studies of the aquifer and groundwater is done. Aquifer means we locate the aquifer, what is its permeability, what is its yield, about the groundwater, what is its movement. So, the instrument which are used here, they are done from the surface only. Suppose a borehole is drilled, we are getting the information about the boreholes. Number of boreholes drilled, we can do the correlation, we will prepare the section and we will correlate them. We will prepare the fence diagram like this. So, the first method is test hole method. What is test hole method? A small diameter hole is drilled by the usual drilling methods. This test hole is give the information about the lithological formation. If aquifer present is there, it will give the thickness of the aquifer, what is the depth of the aquifer, what is the type of materials of the aquifer, depth and quality of groundwater can be determined with the help of the test hole. Second method is the geologic log method. This is not very expensive because drilling is done in the area. So many agencies, government agencies, non-government agencies, and we can have a record of the boreholes, that is the geological log or lithological log also we can say. This lithological log is generally done by drillers and geologists. Suppose geologist is not available on the drilling side, these geological logs are made up by the drillers, and by seeing this log depth wise information we are getting type of what type of rock is there, foot by foot we are getting the information. So, if we identify the rock type or aquifer, we can get at this place at this depth we can get a good quantity of the water because the thickness of the aquifer is more. So, otherwise suppose no aquifer is encountered, we can say that in this borehole we cannot get groundwater. Another method is the drilling time log method. Drilling time log method indicate how much time took place in to drill a unit of rock, means per foot or per meter of the rock, how much time is required. So, a record of this drilling is become a drilling time log, and it will give you the information about the rock type. Depending upon the drilling time log, we can identify the rock type, we can identify the different aquifers in that. So, this is known as drilling time log. Fourth number is the water level measurement. It is in this method we measure the depth of the water table, or suppose pressure surface is there, depth of the pressure surface is confining aquifers are found there. So, depth of the water table is very important data. So, water level measurement is done by, there are 4 methods by which water level measurement is done. Number 1 is by the measuring tape. Second is, if our well is deep, we can use the electric water level sounder. In third method is the air line method. Fourth method is a method, rock technique method, which is developed by the Stewart. These are the 4 methods by which we measure the water level, and water level will tell you about the aquifer characteristics, They can tell about the porosity, permeability, movement of the groundwater, recharge, discharge areas, all these things they will tell. About the geophysical logging techniques, in all geophysical logging techniques, the principle is that a sensing device is lowered into the borehole and it records the physical parameter of the borehole that can be interpreted in terms of the aquifer type, groundwater quantity, physical structure of the borehole and the groundwater quality. In geophysical logging, the methods which are important is the resistivity logging methods. This method is just like the electrical resistivity method which is used on the surface. 4 electrodes are used in this method, 2 are the current electrode, 2 potential electrodes. In a borehole, these current electrodes and potential electrodes are lowered. So, there is a diagram giving there, you can see 3 figures are there diagram in the A, B, C. In A, 3 electrodes are lowered, that is A, M, B. In second, A, M, N. In third, N, M, A, B. All 4 electrodes are lowered. So, the lowering of the electrodes is like this. The in first figure, A figure, M, B spacing is 15 meter, M, N in second 15 meter, and in third diagram AB is 15 meter. So, it means by lowering these electrodes we can get the resistivity of the surrounding rock. So, now resistivity depends upon the ionic concentration and movability of the salt solution. So, you see this diagram is given there because resistivity is also governed by the temperature. If temperature increases, movability increases and viscosity decreases. So, a diagram is there, you see for different solution resistivity is given in the ohm meter, it is the ordinary graph paper and total dissolved solids are plotted on the y axis. You see that there is a inverse relationship in the resistivity and the temperature you can see. Because resistivity is affected by the temperature, resistivity is reported at 25 degrees centigrade. So, Jones and Bufford has given the correction factor. On the ordinary paper you see the diagram, on x axis temperature is written, on y axis correction factor is given there. If you determine resistivity about the 30 degree centigrade or 40 degree centigrade, then this resistivity is multiplied by the correction factor will give you the resistivity at the 25 degree centigrade. So, resistivity will tell you about the fresh water and salt water also, about the porosity of the. Now, a scientist Turkan has also given that from resistivity log water quality can be determined. So, this is about the resistivity logging technique. Second is the spontaneous potential logging technique, because electrical potentials are present in the earth and we can record these potentials, is known as spontaneous potential logging or simply SP logging. This potential is produced by the electrochemical cells. These cells are formed by the difference in electrical conductivity of the drilling mud and the groundwater intersecting in a permeable zone. So, this SP log will tell you about the porous formation, about the type of rock types. So, we can identify the aquifer there. So, next method is the radiation logging. Radiation logging is also known as nuclear logging or radioactive logging. It involves the emission of fundamental particle from the unstable isotopes. So, this is not provising, but it is a very good hydrogeologic tools. In these methods, they can be conducted in a cased or uncased borehole. So, there are 3 types I have told you. The first method is natural gamma logging method. In this, from all rocks there is a natural activity is there, gamma activity is there. So, if we record this natural gamma activity just like the natural spontaneous potential, you can get a rock. So, the clay formation has more natural gamma activity than the quartz sand and the carbonate rock. So, by recording these, a log is a curve is made, that is known as natural gamma log, and this will give you about the characteristics of the aquifers. So, from different rock types can be identified and they can be classified in terms of aquifer, aquifluge or aquitard is there. If aquifer is there, good groundwater we can get. So, this is about the natural gamma logging. In gamma logging, there is a source probe, it is lowered in the borehole, which is scattered and attenuated. So, it will surrounding formation, there will be a gamma activity took place, and record of this gamma activity constitute a gamma log. Gamma log is given on the diagram, you can see this diagram. Next logging is the neutron logging. In neutron logging, actually there is a neutron source probe and detector is lowered in the borehole, and the hydrogen ion concentration is determined in the borehole, because hydrogen ion concentration is related to the moisture content present in the borehole. So, above the water table, moisture content can be determined in this method, and below the water table, porosity can be determined in this method. So, this is very useful method, and this source probe is there are available. So, beryllium which combined with the radium 226, plutonium 239 and americium 241. So, this is about the neutron source probe. We can get the specific yield also of the formation aquifer there, because we can determine the moisture content above the water table and moisture content below the water table. So, a diagram of the neutron log is given there. You can see where the clay is there is a deflection in the log curve which indicate the clay formation. So, in clay formation the moisture percentage higher. So, this is about the neutron logging. Then we will come to the temperature logging. Temperature logging is nothing but along a vertical line there is a record of the temperature, because the heat flows I have told you flowing outward at a geothermal gradient. So, in general the geothermal gradient 3 degree centigrade per 100 meter depth, means if you go 100 meter below from ground surface, 3 degree temperature will be increased. So, by recording the temperature downward, we can get information. For example, sometimes suppose at a greater depth, this must be the gradient, geothermal gradient, but we are getting the cold water there, cold temperature which is very low. This may be due to the presence of the recharge from the ground surface, or there may be presence of the gas there. Suppose we are getting the higher temperature, this is derived from the deep seated conditions. So, this is about the temperature logging. Now, caliper logging, in the caliper logging, it is nothing but is the logging of the diameter. When the drilling is continued, we record the diameter of the rocks, what is the diameter of the rocks, which will also tell you about the placement of the what is the diameter of the placement for the casing. So, this record hard rock has a less diameter, and soft rock the diameter becomes the more during the drilling. So, this is about the caliper logging. Next logging is the fluid conductivity logging. Fluid conductivity, because fluid is water which is filled in the. So, if you measure the fluid conductivity and record it, you will get a log of fluid conductivity. So, fluid conductivity is a reciprocal of the resistivity. Our resistivity, you see, we are measuring resistivity in ohm meter, because it is reciprocal of the electrical conductivity. Electrical conductivity is measured in the micromhos meters. Next is the fluid velocity logging. In fluid velocity logging, we are measuring the movement of the fluid, movement of the water, because different strata, movement in different strata, movement of groundwater in different strata will be different. So, if you record a movement of fluid from the different strata, it will give you the velocity of the flow through the different rock types in a borehole. So, this is about the fluid conductivity logging. By measuring the movement of fluid in the borehole, we can identify the different rock types. So, now I will tell you about the miscellaneous methods. There are three methods: television method, acoustic method, and the casing color method. Now, in television method, a camera is lowered which will give you the information about the boreholes with a videotape. In second method, acoustic method is also known as sonic logging techniques. It measures the velocity of the rock, and casing color locator is the useful to locate the casing color, perforations and the skin. The instrument is magnet wrapped with the coil wire. So, this is about the miscellaneous technique methods. There are other surface methods, that is water level measurement, pumping test method, groundwater level fluctuation method, and groundwater samples collected for the water quality method. So, in this lecture I have told you about the seismic refraction method, which is done from the surface, and the subsurface methods which are useful for the location of the aquifer, location of the groundwater, in which radiation logging method are useful tool, hydrogeologic tool. They are done by the experienced persons. The usefulness is that they can be done in the cased or uncased boreholes. So, how the temperature logging is important, caliper logging is important. And so, in groundwater exploration method, a subsurface picture of the rock formation aquifer is determined, and this information will tell you about the aquifer characteristics, type of aquifer materials, thickness of the aquifer materials, which can be most useful in the location of the groundwater, and we can easily locate groundwater or aquifer by these methods. So, thank you very much.